Hi everyone, this is I'm Stuck and welcome back to our history series on America 1920 to 1973. Today we're diving into part 2 of the causes of the 1920s boom. By the end of the video, you'll understand how innovation helped to create a cycle of prosperity in American society. So the 1920s saw a wave of technological innovation. This transformed American life by creating entirely new industries. As we'll see, electrical appliances like refrigerators, vacuum cleaners, washing machines, and radios were all becoming more common in American homes. New construction techniques were developed for skyscrapers and infrastructure, and automobiles, as we'll see, were becoming more affordable for ordinary Americans. So first of all, let's look at Henry Ford and mass production. Henry Ford had a revolutionary approach to manufacturing. Ford didn't invent the automobile, but he did transform how cars and eventually most consumer goods were made. He founded the Ford Motor Company in 1903 and introduced the Model T in 1908. He developed mass production techniques, especially the moving assembly line, and due to this, by the mid-1920s, he was one of the richest men in the world. In 1913, Ford introduced the moving assembly line at his factory in Michigan. This revolutionized manufacturing in many ways. Previously, skilled workers would build an entire car from start to finish, but with the assembly line, the car moved past workers who performed a single specific task. Workers did not need extensive training, just the ability to perform one simple operation. Each Model T could be assembled in just 93 minutes, down from 12 hours. By 1927, a new car rolled off the assembly line every 24 seconds. The results were absolutely huge. Production soared from 78,000 cars in 1912 to 2 million in 1920. The price of a Model T dropped from $850 in 1908 to just $295 by 1928, meaning more Americans than ever could afford to buy a car. And by 1927, Ford had produced 50 million Model Ts. In 1914, Ford made another revolutionary move by offering workers $5 for an 8-hour workday, more than double the average factory wage. This was both generous and strategic because higher wages reduced employee turnover, better paid workers could afford to buy the cars they were making, and it attracted the best workers, reducing training costs. Ford's high wage policy helped to establish a crucial principle of the boom. Workers needed to be paid enough to buy the products they were actually making. The automobile industry became the driving force of America's economy in the 1920s. By 1929, there were 23 million cars on American roads, and 1 in 5 Americans owned a car. The industry directly employed 500,000 workers, while millions more worked in related industries, producing steel for car bodies, glass for windshields, rubber for tiles, leather for upholstery, and oil and gasoline. The car also transformed American society in remarkable ways. People could live further from work, leading to suburban growth. Road networks expanded, creating construction jobs. New businesses emerged like gas stations and motels and roadside restaurants. And increased mobility created a more connected society. Now let's look at the cycle of prosperity. So the economic boom wasn't just about producing more goods. It was creating a self-reinforcing cycle of economic growth that economists now call a cycle of prosperity. Let me walk through how this worked in the 1920s. So mass production led to rising employment, which led to increased wages and growing consumption. This growing consumption caused business growth, leading to mass production and rising employment, creating a cycle of prosperity. A key element in this cycle was advertising, which exploded during the 1920s. Companies spent $3 billion on advertising by 1929. Advertisements created a desire for the latest model or the newest style, and radio brought advertisements directly into people's homes. Advertising helped create the idea that consumption equals happiness, that buying new things was the path to a better life. Another crucial element was hire purchase, what we now call credit or installment plans. Consumers could buy expensive items by making a small down payment and then pay off the balance in weekly or monthly installments. And by 1929, 60% of the cars and 80% of the radios were bought on hire purchase. This allowed ordinary Americans to buy products they couldn't afford outright, but it also meant that many Americans were deeply in debt. In our next video, we'll look more closely at the consequence of the boom, particularly stock market speculation and how the stock market worked. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.